Good afternoon. Welcome to everyone. Today is Saturday, April the 5th, 2025, and we are here to visit this beautiful building that is now for sale. The owner is here, Rick Davis. We'll have a tour of the inside and we'll hear all about it, but a bit of history first. The land on which this stands was at the south end of a whole square. Just to the north were the major glass factories in South Wheeling. First, Hobbs Brockunier, and then Northwood. They were just to the north, and of course, they're long gone now. After that, there was United Glass, after Hobbs Brockunier, and then Northwood. We think this building itself was from the early 1900s. The first record that I could find was of the Hanlon Sharps Company of Belmont County, Ohio. They purchased the property from the Northwood Glass Company in 1905. They manufactured, and I quote, envelopes, sheet and roll wrapping paper, paper sacks, calendars, office supplies, weatherproof signs, and advertising novelties. An ad appeared in the 1907-1909 Wheeling City Directory, and I'll put this paper inside so you can see what the ad looked like. The company apparently went bankrupt a few years later, and in 1911 there was a consortium of businessmen, some of whom lived in Weston, West Virginia. They acquired the property on which the building stands, and the ancestor of David McKinley here was one of the businessmen and their wives who owned the building at that time. That group began, and let me quote this, No Leak Paper Dish Company manufacturers of paper butter dishes by 1914. And as I said, the owners at the time included Lewis and Sally Maxwell Bennett. Sally was a Wheeling native, so that may have been the local connection. At that point, it was 5 stories tall. The 1921-22 Sanborn maps shows a 5-story building, but I think the top 2 floors were gone by then, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. Just to the west here was a railroad track. So that would have been an industrial line that served the glass companies and other industries here in South Wheeling. On October the 13th of 1914, there was a disastrous fire that caused significant damage, and the fire chief suggested that, and again I quote, a passing locomotive throwing a spark into an open window on the 4th floor was the cause. Newspaper reports described the No Leak Paper Dish Company as manufacturers of ice cream and oyster buckets and butter and lard dishes with, quote, products sent to practically every state in the Union. The 4th floor was used as a stock room for this company, and part of the 4th floor and the 5th were used by Couey-Bentz Furniture Company for storage. And Couey-Bentz, of course, right, you can see from here the kind of orange brick building that's over there. The damage was contained to those 2 floors, and according to the newspaper, they had insurance that covered most of the losses from the fire. Fireman Henry Meyer was injured fighting the blaze. His arm was caught in the machinery of a pumper truck. And fireman Jerry Fish died of tuberculosis 7 weeks later, and the paper reported his death was hastened by a cold he contracted at the No Leak Paper Dish Company fire. Elmer T. Maxwell, manager of the company at the time of the fire, reported that the company would, and again I quote, resume operation as soon as insurance is adjusted and a roof can be placed on the building. So we think the top 2 floors were taken off at that time, and you can see the chimney here must have been from the original building. It looks like it's 2 stories taller. Joseph Spidell purchased the property in 1935. You may know his name as a grocer, a major wholesale grocer. And he apparently leased the building or rented it out to the Loose Wiles Biscuit Company, later known as Sunshine Biscuits. And Rick has pointed out that if you look real close, you can sort of see on the garage part, the top letters would have been Sunshine and the bottom Biscuits. Of course, faded a good bit. W. Russell Clark and George Bailey purchased the property in 1959, and it served as the home of the Clark Paper Company into the 1970s. Farm Fresh Inc. was the next owner, purchasing the property in mid-1979, and we think the decor on the inside now must date from that period. They use this as office space for general offices and accounting offices for Farm Fresh Inc., State Food Stores, and Garvin's Jersey Farms. The current owners, Richard and Leslie, there's Leslie Davis, purchased this in 2012, and it's now for sale, and we hope it comes back and is productive in the future. So, with that said, I will follow Rick around as we tour through the building. As always, our tours are posted on Facebook, so you can see it, and please like it and share it. And then we'll also save it. Facebook is now taking old videos off after a while, but we will archive it for future use. On YouTube. Thank you. Now, just a couple other announcements before we go inside. There are a couple things coming up in the future. Next Saturday at 1 o'clock, we will host a tour of 4 downtown churches to see their stained glass windows, part of the month-long focus on wheeling glass. We'll meet at the library at 1 o'clock. Then we'll go to St. James Lutheran Church, St. Matthew's Episcopal, which has several Tiffany stained glass windows, First Presbyterian, St. Joseph's Cathedral, and we'll stop by briefly at Good Mansion Wines to see the stained glass. It's not a church, but it has great stained glass windows. So that's next Saturday at 1 o'clock. And then the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of May, the State Preservation Alliance of West Virginia Conference is going to be held in Wheeling, and if you're interested in that, there's a link on the newsletter that just went out announcing this tour, but you can Google PAWV, Preservation Alliance of West Virginia, and that also will take you to the link. Now, I will note that after Monday, the price goes up. So if you want the early bird price to attend the conference, make sure you sign up by Monday. Okay, any quick questions before we start? All right, then let's go.
My turn. Well, I'd like to share this with everybody. While you're out here, out and about, this glass here is like all over this parking lot, and I'm learning that it was from Hobbs. It's kind of cool to find the old glass. I've got a bucket full of it at home, but like I say, when you're out in the parking lot, it's kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
This is it.
All right, and so, Rick, this would have been part of the office complex that was here at the time.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. Wait for everyone to come in, or?
Yeah, let's let everyone come in, and we can see the paneling that would have been from the late 70s or early 80s, which was typical of that time.
Yeah. Might be best to walk in this way, and everybody can, you can just kind of, it's a maze. It's real easy to get used to. You can just kind of browse around. We purchased it in 2012, and we used it for eBay. We had a little office space up front where we did our package shipping, shipping it out, and then upstairs we used it for the storage of all the eBay stuff.
And you said at one point you actually lived here.
Yeah, I lived here for 4 years. I actually have in that direction there. I turned an office into a bedroom and an office. And so it does have one window in the building, which my therapist recommended that I put a window in the building for my own mental health.
And of course, originally it had a lot
Originally,
of
yes. And what was interesting, when I took this out, when I opened this up, the original window was still in there. And I believe I left it tucked up inside this ceiling. It's got the old ripple glass in it. It's really neat. Yeah. You can walk back this way and you'll see what I used as an art room, which is definitely that 70s. This is the kitchen area that Farm Fresh built. You can tell it was built in the 70s. The only thing modern in this place is the bathroom. I had to build a bathroom with the shower and all that, so it's the only modern thing in this building.
GPS signal lost.
You walk out this way. This is the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go right now.
This is the 3-car garage with the original fire door that separated it from the rest of the building. There's all the information there. And I'm thinking they built this for the dock height of like a bread truck. Because if you had your bread trucks, they have a lower dock set up. So I'm assuming that's why they had this lip built up for easy loading when it was the Sunshine Biscuit Company.
Can you, as soon as everyone gets in here, can you demonstrate the fire door, how it works? Okay. Okay, we're going to have a demonstration of the fire door as soon as everyone gets in.
Get out the way. Hey, how you guys doing? Good to see you. All right, we're going to show everyone how this door works. This is the fire door, which is really cool. Now, if the building was to catch fire, we're all safe. So. It's probably where they ran in the early 1900s when the building caught on fire. They all ran behind this door. And you'll also see there's another one on the second floor because this garage is the same garage on top of this. So there's another 3-car garage on top separated with another fire door.
So there's a lot of space here that could
Lots of
be used
space.
for a variety of different
Yeah,
things.
you could, the possibilities are endless. And when we get to the basement and the second and third floor, you'll see how this building's built. And you'll see that any of this can come out. These are beams. These are steel beams covered up, but all of these walls can come out, and this floor can be completely wide
So
open.
they're not load-bearing.
No, there's no load-bearing walls in
except
here.
for
the beams.
the steel beams.
And when you see the basement, you'll see this how it's structured. And there's 2 ways to the basement, and if anyone's afraid of the elevator, you're more than welcome to take the stairs. We'll show you. Or you can get on the elevator, and we'll go down on the elevator. This is the back of the building, or the side of the building, whatever you want to refer it to.
And the glass plants then would have been the way the camera is looking now.
What's that building right there?
I'm thinking it's
And that looks
Coleman's
like a
Fish
newer
owns it for
building there,
storage.
but
yeah.
perhaps the siding covers up an older one. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, you can tell this used to be part of it as I cleaned the sidewalk off. So it had something to do with this at some time.
Connected somehow.
And that door used to be bigger, so this was probably some sort of loading dock. You can see a little bit how they had ceiling damage years ago. And you can see how solid. This is a steel beam, double steel beam going through
double
here.
steel beam.
You'll see it more exact in the basement. And you'll see it on every floor exposed. And these these joists are 2.5-inch by 13-inch on 12-inch center. It's a very solid building. And anyone that wants to get to the basement, you can take the stairs, or you can come on the elevator.
I'll follow you on the elevator. So
All right.
there's stairs that way, or?
We can ride the elevator?
Yep.
Yeah.
All aboard?
It's a big elevator.
Yeah. Plenty of room. And that is a loading dock that goes out to where the train station, or the train tracks were. You drop down another foot and it's level with that. Anyone?
The elevator? Nope.
Nope. All right, all aboard. We're going down.
And we can see the mechanism working.
There's
up
more
there.
people coming? All right. Free elevator rides. You've been on here, Henley. She's acting shy. She's been on here many times.
Nice and smooth.
Yeah. Just watch your step when you come out. Yeah. Now you can see how the building's built.
Wow.
And these beams go all the way to the roof.
And double. I don't know that I've seen
Yeah.
double steel beams
I
like
believe
this.
this building will hold anything you can put in it. I've had a lot of weight in this building, and it just doesn't budge. And there used to be, these are underground. These windows are now underground. And there was also some sort of loading dock here. That this went out towards the railroad tracks. And right above here on the outside is a big opening, like there was double doors. So they had to load it out this way or it came in this way.
All right.
And this piece here, I'll explain it real quick. I no longer use this. I had it rewired. This is my controls now. But this piece here was actually mounted underneath of here. And you have these two cables, this cable and this one. That one's over here, which to operate the elevator, you would pull down to go up or pull this way to go down. And then one day my cable broke. So I pulled the pulley out, and these were your stops. You would add these on here on the elevator, so you'd have this little device there that would automatically stop at each floor, so you're perfectly level at each floor. Yeah. So anyone want to go to the second floor?
And so now is...
Sure, you can ride or you can take the stairs. There's a set of stairs to the... Yeah, there's a lot of room in here. And I've had this thing loaded, so.
Yeah.
And you can actually video this motor while it's going up. You going? Oh. And now we're going to the second floor. See what happens when that's what it would do. Here's a fine example how the cable, I had it locked. When there was a cable in there, if that was the case, it wouldn't go nowhere. It would shut the elevator off. It's one of the safety devices, but I no longer use that as part of the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
You want to ride, young lady?
No. We're going to the second floor.
So is that the original
Elevator?
Elevator.
I'm not sure because if
like
this
yours.
was 5 stories tall, then I think this was added after the other
To
2
the fire.
stories were
Uh-huh.
off.
Yeah. But
Unless they modified it. But I
But you
put it.
didn't add that. No.
All I did was have it rewired so it was working better. This is the second floor we painted when we first got it in 2012. We had it sprayed, and I had a roof leak back then, as you can tell. But since then, I'm putting a new roof on it.
And I believe you told me that when you got it, that these windows were still windows.
Yeah, these windows were still windows. However, there was a lot of damage to the windows, just sitting vacant for over the years.
And did you just cover them up?
Yeah, I just covered them up.
So there's window underneath some of them?
Some of them there may be on these ones. The third floor, I took them out because I didn't board up the inside of the third floor, which you'll see.
Yeah.
This machine was here, left here. So this was part of, and it's free to a good home. Anybody that wants it, if you have a good home for it, it's yours
what
for
is
the
it?
taking. It creates
a
these.
dressograph.
Yeah, dressograph. It creates these for the credit card machines when they swipe it. So this has all different names, and you may find relatives' names on one of these cards because these are all the cards, and they're all made out to just various people, various businesses. So you might find an ancestor's name in there. You're more than welcome to look. I'd like to find a museum that would take it, redo it, and
Maybe when the new Heritage Center is built.
yeah, I'd gladly donate it. It's got to go. Otherwise, it's staying with the building.
Probably weighs a ton.
Yeah, it's a good bit. It's on wheels, so we can roll it to the door. Now this here I never understood, so I don't know if there was a set of stairs. Where'd she go?
A dressograph. So you would take a look. You'll see it would address bills or whatever.
This here I never investigated. I'm thinking this was possibly another set of stairs going downstairs, or maybe a dummy lift of some sort. I've just never messed with it. I don't know. And then the second floor, you also have street access, which is cool.
And is that actually McColloch Street up there?
That's Wetzel Street.
That's Wetzel Street. So
McColloch Street is actually the railroad tracks.
Where the railroad track. Okay.
And then this is the other 3-car garage, which I believe this was added on at some point because you have windows that's been bricked up. So this was added on after the fact. Possibly Sunshine Biscuit built this maybe for their loading.
Let's step here.
Yeah, because this was a wooden dock about that high at one time. So I'm also thinking that they backed their trucks in and they could load it easily.
So there was another garage door here.
Yeah, there was a
probably.
garage door there.
Yeah.
When I put the door in, I just didn't need the garage door, and then this was a paint booth. There's no light. And actually, right before I bought it, there was a place doing VW repair work, and I still have this as something that was left behind. Oh. It's a transformer. But as you can see, like the colors and stuff, they were doing Volkswagen repair. So they did the old Beetle work.
Oh, and it's solid enough building that you could drive cars
Yeah.
in here. And yeah. So this then was the paint room, you said?
Yeah, that was the paint room for when they were doing the painting. Yeah. Just my regular hose. Yeah.
Let's see what they're finding in the addressograph machine. So anything interesting that you're finding there?
Well, time cards like employee numbers, plant, driver, so.
A friend of mine.
Oh,
Did you find a friend of yours? It's yours. Keep it. Yeah.
Downtown office.
Yeah, if you find something that
Name,
touches you, take it.
and then a number,
I don't know.
like reference.
With that?
This one's.
I put that all outside?
yeah.
Yeah. I got a pile of it about like this.
One little red
And it keeps surfacing too as you walk around. It's like, oh, yeah. I'm excited to see the new owner and if they do any kind of excavating, what we will find in the dirt. When they start moving the dirt, we find the big chunks of glass.
Like these say garage,
a designer for lost
garage, driver, so they're,
just break
the address also down below, these are more employee numbers and records.
You seen any of those? No.
Look for another bill. This is, this person I knew.
You're more than welcome to any of them.
They said it's a Wheeling. Ruby Avenue, which is in Clater, Mount Deshawnel Road, Fort Henry Avenue, Flynn Avenue, Fort Henry, Colonel.
They had quite a few customers, obviously.
Well, if it had anything to do with no leak paper,
No, this probably was Clark paper,
you think this was Clark paper?
probably. This, I think, would be, well, I don't know, because they left in what, 1930, the mid-1930s. I don't know when this machine would have been of use. My guess this would have been from Clark paper, but. All right. Shall we make it to the third floor?
Sure. Elevator rides, or you can take the stairs. Once again, your choice. Yeah. I did a quick cleaning on both floors. World of difference. It's just, I spent 2 days cleaning them up. The more you clean it, it'll just come cleaner. It's a nice floor.
Oh, come on, honey. Wow, this is a big elevator. Isn't it? I want
We're clear back there on the back, right? Just watch yourself on the back so you don't get caught on anything. Now, when those things are on here, you don't have to do that. It automatically stops exactly where you set it. Watch yourself coming out because this one sets a little low. Just watch your head. And I did take the windows off the back so you can actually see where you are if you kind of got a little lost, disoriented in here.
And Rick, would this go to the roof?
That will go. You're more than welcome to go up here. There's probably only room for a couple people at a time, but you can see the actual motor of the elevator. You can also see how it was rewired. You're more than welcome. It's a very steep set of steps. You're more than welcome to go up there. You want to go up?
Sure.
Yeah, it's steep.